Hi, so it's the middle of October, which means that it's time to start thinking about making eggnog for Christmas because the kind of eggnog that I like to make needs to age. So Saturday night and we're going to make some eggnog. So what we're going to need obviously is milk, cream, eggs, spices, and alcohol. I'm going to make about 4 gallons. I've only got a 2-gallon pot, so I'm going to make it in 2 batches. So for each batch, what we're going to need is 24 egg yolks, 8 cups of milk, 2 cups of cream, couple of whole nutmegs, a vanilla bean, some sort of other spices, cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, cloves, just a little bit of those because we mostly want it to be nutmeg, and then just a little bit of vanilla. Sugar, I like turbinado sugar, it's basically dried cane syrup. We need just a pinch of salt. We will need a bottle of rum. This is 3/4 of a liter of rum. This is Raelian rum. It's made in San Leon, Texas, which is just around the corner, just next to Kima. It's very good. This is Raelian Reserve XO Ultra Premium. I like to use really good liquor in my eggnog because it makes for a really good eggnog. We'll need about 1.5 bottles of whiskey. That's about 5 cups. This is Weller's 12-year-old Kentucky bourbon whiskey. I've been drinking Weller's since college. It's pretty good stuff. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's also not incredibly expensive. So we'll have that. And we need cognac. You can use whatever you like. I've developed a fondness for Pierre Ferrand cognac. This is Grand Champagne cognac, and we'll use about 1/2 bottle of this in each batch. And let's see, so first thing I'm going to do is get the spices ready. I've got a spice mill here. I use it for cooking Indian food, so it's got some interesting flavors in it that I don't really want in my eggnog. So I just got some old pieces of nutmeg here that I'm going to grind up and kind of scour out the inside of this and get rid of most of that smell. And then I'm just going to throw this away. Now obviously you can use already ground spices, but seriously, why would you want this? If you hear what sounds like dogs choking in the background, don't worry about it. That's just the puppies, and they're entertaining each other. So, 2 whole nutmegs. You can also grate this by hand if you're so inclined, but I'm not so inclined. And we're also going to put in some cloves. Let's say it could be a teaspoon. Let's see, 2 gallons. Yeah, a teaspoon of cloves. It might be a little much. teaspoon. I think what I'm going to do is, I think I want to go with a half a teaspoon of cloves. Not that I'm making this up as I go along, you understand, but you know, it's just a recipe. Ground ginger, same way. I think we'll go with a half a teaspoon of ground ginger. And ground cardamom. Actually, I have cardamom pods. They seem a little woody to me when I grind them. It's great in Indian food, not sure it would be so great in eggnog. And then cinnamon. This is Saigon cinnamon. You should get the best cinnamon that you can find. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of cinnamon. So that's most of our spices except for the vanilla. Another fun thing to do for Christmas is to make your own vanilla extract. You can find recipes on the web, in particular on Instructables. There's a real good method for making your own vanilla. You can go out on the web and find some really high quality vanilla beans that you buy, and then use either rum or vodka and make your own vanilla extract. It makes a real nice gift for people who like to cook. So, really can't see it here, but I've got a long vanilla bean here, sort of like a big long earthworm. If you remember dissecting earthworms. So I've sliced it down the middle. Now I'm going to take the back of the knife and just slide it down the length of the vanilla bean and get all that good yummy vanilla seed out of it. And the skins are nice too if you're making vanilla extract. You can soak those. So now I've got these clumps of tar-like vanilla seed, which doesn't look like it's that it would disperse itself very well in eggnog. So I'm putting all my spices together back in the grinder and just sort of mix all that up. And that'll distribute the vanilla seed amongst all the other spices. Okay, so that's spices. Next thing we need is eggs. 24 egg yolks. There's a lot of different ways to separate eggs. I like to do it using my hands. Just pass the egg yolk back and forth between your hands, let the egg white drip out, and you get a nice, clean egg yolk. So as I do each one, I'm going to put the egg yolk into the mixer. I've never been really good at breaking eggs. I used to belong to a book club, cookbook book club, and they had a book called How to Break an Egg. It was a book of sort of kitchen basics. And I thought, that one kind of busted. And I thought, well, that would be a great book to have because I would really like to know the proper method for breaking an egg. So I ordered the book, and brought it home and read it, and believe it or not, never told you how to break an egg. I guess they just assumed that everybody knew how to do that. And then, interestingly, recently on the internet, I read an article written by some physics guys, and they talk about how to break an egg from point of view of the physics of an eggshell. And what they say is the way you do it is you want to impact it on the widest part of the shell, hard, preferably in one good swack, and that will do it. So I'm not going to bore you with me separating 24 eggs. But rest assured, I'm going to separate 24 eggs. So almost done here. Just a few more to go. We're not going to be cooking this. We're not baking, so it's not super critical that you have no egg whites and no egg yolks, and no egg yolks and the egg whites. I think a lot of people over obsess about cooking and life in general, and it's just eggs. We're just separating eggs. It's no big deal. So here's the last one. I'm going to take my egg yolks, or my egg whites, and I'm going to pour it into this. So I've got 2 of these now for egg whites. I'm going to freeze one for later. I'm going to be eating the other one probably dinner tonight and breakfast tomorrow. So I'll set those over here. Eggshells. Made a little bit of a mess, but not nearly as much of a mess as I have made in the past with eggs. Okay, so here's all my egg yolks. Put them in my mixer and just mix them up until they're all sort of creamy and they start to lighten just a little bit. Not really trying to beat them or whip them or anything, just mix them up. You'll see them turn a lighter shade of yellow. When you see that, you know you're in good shape. Now I'm going to add 4 cups of sugar. Again, this is turbinado sugar, which has a little bit of a molasses that you taste to it. You can obviously use white sugar. You might have noticed that I'm using organic everything as much as I can. It's not strictly necessary, but if you're going to be putting $100 worth of really nice liquor into something that you're making as a gift, you might as well spend the extra buck and get organic milk and organic eggs. And so on. So I'm going to add 4 cups of sugar to my eggs. So close to a full package, I'm just going to use the whole thing. Last little bit, I'm going to mix with my spices. Just so they won't clump from it. I'm also going to add just a little bit of salt. Around 1/8 of a teaspoon. Next I'm going to add a pint of whipped cream. Slowly. So now's where it kind of gets a little interesting. I'm going to take this and pour it into my big pot. Got some eggs left. Use carbonado sugar. It's not ground quite as fine as regular sugar. It will take it a while to dissolve down, so just be aware of that. But it will dissolve, especially when we start putting alcohol in here. Okay, now we need a good sized whisk. I have this one. Probably not quite as big as I should use, but I think it'll do the job. And so what we're going to do now is whisk the alcohol into the cream and egg yolks. And the reason we want to whisk this while we do it is we don't want the egg yolks to curl. So we're going to whisk in the alcohol just a little bit at a time. A nice slow, fairly slow stream. When you get done, you're going to want to bottle your eggnog. I found some nice bottles at a place called Annapolis Home Brewing, I believe is the name of it. You can find them online. They're made as beer bottles. They're the kind that have the little rubber stopper with the metal things on it, like a Grolsch beer bottle. You can get them dark or blue or clear, and obviously the clear ones are the ones that I like. So there's one bottle of very good Raylian rum. I don't know if you can find that where you live, but said it's local. I always like to drink locally as much as I can. There's a couple of local Texas bourbons these days. One of them is Garrison Brothers, which is really, really nice. It's also about $75 a bottle. I didn't really want to invest 3 bottles of that into eggnog. There's another one called 1836, I think is the name of it. 1836 being the year of the Texas independence. And it's sort of on the other extreme. Not as quite as nice as what I would like. I like something that's at least 12 years old. Let's see, so I've got to kind of measure a half of this. My guess would be about right there. Doesn't have to be perfect, because what I'll do is when I get my bottles in and I have my 2 batches of eggnog, I'll sort of mix them together and even out any inequalities in the amount of alcohol that I have. Cognac, you can use Cavassier or Hennessy. I know a lot of people like those. And I used to drink Cavassier. I always liked it better than Hennessy, but I like Pierre Ferrand the best. So we're going to put in about a half a bottle of this. In 2000, Cavassier put out a Millennium Edition in a really nice bottle. I bought a bottle of that, and it's been sitting aging since 2000. That's 12 years now. That should make for some really good drinking. I don't know when I'll drink it. Maybe when I retire, that'll be another 10, 12 years from now. Okay, so all that remains now is the milk, and we're going to want 8 cups of milk. And we're just going to stir that up real good. Now, after you bottle this, you're going to want to age it. I know people worry about, well, you got milk and you got raw eggs and blah, 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 blah. But you've also got an extreme amount of alcohol in here. And the alcohol will preserve this and keep it from spoiling. I still age mine in the refrigerator. You don't strictly have to, but wherever you age it, it needs to be, fairly cool and steady temperature. So if you live up north and happen to have a basement or a root cellar or wine cellar, that would work fine. But I'm going to put mine in the refrigerator just in case. I'd hate to poison all my relatives. Okay, so let me just sample this. Let's see what we have. That's a good eggnog. Now it's a little sharp. Sharp being the opposite of mellow. Over the 2 months between now and Christmas, it will really mellow out and really get smooth. all the liquors will blend together. The edge will come off the spices, and it'll be very much like a Bailey's cream kind of consistency, with that same kind of smoothness. So outstanding. I'm going to put it in a couple of gallon jars. My bottles won't be here till next week, so I'll just funnel it into a couple of these. I'll put it in the refrigerator, and next week I'll put it into the bottles. Let me find one to show you. This is the kind of bottle I'm talking about. This is a 16-ounce bottle. This is what I used last time. I've ordered liter bottles this time, so it should be big. It should be bigger than this. And I ordered 12 bottles, which comes out to about 3 gallons, a little more than 3 gallons, because they're liter bottles, not quart bottles. I should get about 4 gallons, 2 gallons out of this, and not quite 2 gallons. Last time I did this, I came up about here in a 2 gallon jugs. So not quite 4 gallons. I've got 12 liter bottles coming, and then I have probably half a dozen of these left over, little half liter bottles. So that's what people on my Christmas list will be getting this year, in addition to other homemade goodies. So now you know how to make eggnog. Time's a wasting because you do want it to age. You can age it up to a year if you want, but at least a couple of months. And a couple of months, you will have the best eggnog that anyone you know has ever tasted. So there you go. See you later.